Who am I? This needs to be inquired into very deeply and completely in order that the Absolute Self is realized in its true nature. The view always corresponds to the viewer. That is, the definition of oneself determines what one regards as real. The definition of I determines what is regarded as this. As an example. So then, if you regard yourself as the body due to lack of inquiry, which would reveal that you're not the body, you will presume that the world is real. If the definition of yourself is as a thinker, then thoughts, states and conditions of mind, etc., will appear to be real. If you assume as your identity the ego or individuality, differentiation will appear to be real, even to the extent as regarding the self as something distinct from yourself. But who am I? Know the truth of the self, your very being, and then say what is. The view is contained within the viewer and is dependent upon him. That is, whatever is regarded as this is determined by the definition of I, is contained within the I. If the view dissolves in the viewer, the this into I, and the I loses its I-ness due to clear inquiry, what then is real? What then exists? Who am I? Can you be the body? That cannot be you. Can you be the mind? If you were, who would know it? The knower of the mind cannot be the mind. Can you be the ego? Is it not just an assumption and not your actual existence? Discarding imagined definitions by inquiring who am I, you will know yourself. Bodiless, thought-free, egoless, and consequently worldless, conceptless, without differences. Whatever you think is, The definition of I goes into that, is the basis of it. To know what truly is, to know reality, you must know yourself. Yet in knowing yourself, with all differentiation gone because of the ego's absence, there is nothing else to be known. One's own self is the reality. Who is it that considers what has been listened to just now? Who am I? Without knowing the truth of the self, how can we say this is, that is, etc.? Knowing the truth of the self, who can say what? About what should one speak? About what should one think? Who am I? Inquire completely, consistently, deeply, so that the truth of the self as the solitary reality shines for you as self-evident. You will find that any supposed obstruction to the inquiry, to the knowledge, is due merely to lack of inquiry. And that as soon as one actually inquires, the so-called obstruction, being unreal, imagined, vanishes. What is there to view? What is there not to view? What is there to think? What is there not to think? The one self alone exists eternally. Who can know this? Is there anyone not to know this? Inquire consistently, deeply, completely.